conquering of demons or whatever, I have no adventure in my life that I'm complete with. So I'm going to tell a story that it doesn't even have an ending. I just worked out the beginning, and I'm going to ramble a little bit, and then when I either completely go blank or run out of time, I'll go back and what away do I see. I took the word chicken, and I knew people were going to say, okay, I'm going to tell a story that actually has something to do with eating meat or with being chased by a rooster or with conquering a fear or something like that. And I had to come up with something that wasn't going to be any of those things that I wouldn't tell any of the same stories. Finally, I thought of chick and, as in chick and seal, the very first characters that I came up with when I was maybe 3 or 4 years old and liked to draw in my little pads of paper with my crayons. And every time I got a pad of paper, it was the best gift you could possibly give me. Work like paper was always the best. And the pads were like, I didn't let anybody else use them. They weren't for sharing. You know, I had one doodle pad. There were 2 different kinds that we mainly got. Scribble tablet was one, and it had a picture of a guy on the front with 2 women like in the background with the sun checking them out and everything. And the other one was called Doodle Pad, and one of the things it said on it, I just seem to remember, was fun for the whole family. And I was like, fuck that. It's not it's for me. And because it was going to be, you know, it had to have integrity. It had to make sense as you go from one page to the next. It had to tell a story. And granted, I still have some of those pads. I didn't bring them for show and tell because it's not show and tell. I wanted to do this all in words in order to force myself to do it all in words. But it had to be chronological and sequential and show and tell a story. And I only do one side of the paper, and then if I ran out of paper, I flip it over and do the story going the opposite way. If I look at them now, I can tell you what the fuck is going on. You know? But the first characters were, and I would guess I was maybe 3 or 4. I was an early reader. Were chick and seal. Chick was a little baby chick. It was basically a circle on top of a circle with a beak coming out and a dot for the eye and 2 legs. And seal didn't look anything like a seal. It was kind of like a sideways fish with a mouth on the side in the middle. And the only time any of my little characters would have hands is if they had to do something with their hands. Otherwise, I couldn't. So I'd have also, there was a person guy who was basically just a head circle with a bottom part of a rectangle coming up the body and the legs. And if you had to reach something, their arms would stretch way across the whole panel and be like 6 times the length of their body and do whatever was needed to be done. And there were all these train of thought things like they'd be in water and somebody would pour salt and pepper into the water and then the water would turn into something else. And I don't know what it was all about. But then I evolved beyond that and I started making my drawing characters based on things that I would play with my sister or with my cousin. With my sister, we used to play Dummy and Madison, and my parents insist to this day that I named her Dummy just so I have an excuse to call my sister Dummy, but it's not true. Those were organic names. I came up with them out of a genuine feeling like this is the name of those characters. And with my cousin, he was calling himself Super Goat, so I pretended I was a mouse and we were Squeaky and Super Goat. And one of my first kind of indications that adults can be really stupid was when I was at some party or something, and this guy is asking me what I'm drawing. I'm working on my Squeaky and Super Goat comic book, and I'm telling him about it. And he says, "Is Super Goat a cat?"